I want a PC with an RTX 3080. I want a PC with a Ryzen 9 5950X 16-core abomination. I want a PC with 32 gigabytes of Corsair RAM. I want a PC with white cabling. I want a PC with 9 Corsair fans and a 360mm radiator. What's beep boppity booping, my babies, on the Concept Soup channel? Today's video, oh what a special build this is, probably one of the most high-end builds I've ever done. What a bloody beauty she is! Let's go through the parts that we have today. What a pleasure to put this one together. And yes, I am flexing with the 3080 Supreme X behind me. It's not actually doing anything, it's just powered up so I could show it off. But, video for another time. Now we're talking about a beautiful build, starting with the Ryzen 9 5950X. What a beautiful, beautiful CPU. I have one in my own PC just because basically it's a business expense, so that's pretty damn sweet. But 16 cores, 32 threads, and it's actually really fast on single core as well, so it is good for gaming. You shouldn't buy it for gaming, but it's really good for gaming. Any kind of creativity work, productivity, all the ivities will be absolutely fine. Next, we're going to cool this baby with something pretty nice. So we've got a 360mm Capellix Corsair RGB dealie. It comes with 3 fans, but we're going to be changing those fans out, as you'll see later. Next, motherboard. Motherboard is the beautiful Gigabyte B550 Vision D. RAM. Next, Vengeance RGB White, 32 gigs, 4 lots of 8, DDR4, 3600, CL18. Good stuff. Looks nice, going to go very nicely with our Corsair theme. Storage, Western Digital 2TB SN550 NVMe SSD. Yeah, you could put a PCIe 4 in this, but for gaming, even for content creation, like PCIe 4 is kind of not really a good use of your money, unless you're really balling, and that's just kind of bragging rights really, rather than actually being a good investment. Here's the crown jewel, baby. GPU, the RTX 3080, the elusive, sexy 3080, and this is the Gigabyte Vision RTX 3080, and it is a real beauty. It looks real goddamn sweet. And what are we having to encase all of this good stuff? It's the classic Lian Li O11 dynamic. This bloody case just keeps making a return on the Concept Soup channel just because the consumers, they just lap it up. They love it. They love this case. Double glass looks pretty frickin' sweet. Power supply, of course, as we always say on the Concept Soup channel, the power supply is the most important part of any system. We have the RM850 80 plus gold, 850 watts, really nice for powering this system, even though you probably could be alright with a 750. It's nice to have that headroom. Power supply runs more efficiently, gonna last you longer. Very nice indeed. Windows 10 Pro, well, of course we're including that on every PC, that's a given. The case fans, 9, count them, 9 LL120 RGB fans from Corsair, and we're going to have to see if these actually all work, because Corsair fans, as we know, are kind of rubbish when you have this many of them. They glitch out, they do all kinds of weird stuff. But I'm confident we can get this to work. We've got loads of spare RGB hubs from previous builds, so that should be fine. And just to really tie off the build, this really does complete the look of those high-end builds. It is the custom sleeve cabling, and of course, like with all my custom builds, I'm using SHOWMAN cables, not sponsored or anything, I just like them, and they're independent, so you're not buying from some giant company. It's just one dude running a company doing a great job building some really nice custom sleeve cables. And what I like about these is the combs are already on the cables themselves, and they're wrapped all the way around, so you don't have that sort of ugly, unsightly side and one nice looking side. It's sort of wrapped all the way around, so it does look pretty sweet. That's the parts. Let's get a little build montage going, and we shall talk at the end about the beautiful machine we're about to put together, baby. Simply beautiful. Simply beautiful. Welcome to the club, so who's that gaming PC for? It's for me! But it's not, I'm selling it for profit, because I'm a bastard. Lovely build. Can't really say much more than that, can we? But we will, because we like to ramble on this channel. We like to sort of get the creative juices flowing. Beautiful look. All these goddamn LL120 fans really filling the case out, and they look really nice in this orientation. I like to have the 3 coming intake on the bottom, and then there are 6 exhausts, which, yes, of course, that is going to increase your dust build up a bit, but the reason you choose a Lian Li O11 dynamic case is not because you want optimum airflow. The reason you choose LL120 fans is not because you want optimum airflow. You choose them because they look really nice, and it's kind of going to spoil it if you have the intake on the side there. So this is truly, yeah, looks over functionality, but that's fine. That's the whole point of this build. It's all about luxury. The temperatures are going to be fine. Yeah, it might get a little bit more dusty, but whatever. Just look over this gorgeous machine. It's absolutely amazing, and I'm jealous of whoever can afford to buy this thing from me, because it's not going to be cheap. It is not going to be cheap. The build process, O11 dynamic is fine. This is actually one of the harder cases to build in, particularly if you're using the cable extensions. You've got all the Corsair fans. You've got so much cabling in the back of these PCs that it can get a little bit tough. The way I approach the build on this one is different to how I normally do it. So I normally will install the power supply first, put the case to one side, sort the motherboard out, put the motherboard in, and do the rest. But with this case, I found it was best just to mount the motherboard in as soon as you can, because you've got so much room for putting things in. You've got so much room for your hands that you're not going to be worried about not being able to reach the CPU power thing, for instance. So I just chuck the motherboard in first, try and get as many of the fans in, get all the little cables connected up to the motherboard, all the RGB stuff all routed through, and then continue with the rest, and actually put the power supply in last. But because it's a modular power supply, you can actually just connect everything up, and just the last thing you put in is the actual power supply unit itself, hook all the cables up, and you're good to go. So it's a little bit different to a regular build, and that's, I've learned that from using this case a few times, that yeah, the power supply brick should actually be the last thing that goes in, just because it's very bulky. There's not actually a massive amount of cable management room in this case, particularly if you do good practice and have each PCIe power slot on the graphics card having its own dedicated cable, rather than using the 2 daisy chain things. I really don't like daisy chaining, so I think it reduces the lifespan of the cables, but also the coil wind seems to be a little bit worse when you use that daisy chain rather than a separate cable for each. So that's why I've done that. But anyway, that's boring, isn't it? Who cares about that apart from tech nerds like me? Beautiful colours with iCue, of course, really good integration, but the performance is amazing. We'll chuck up some stats on the screen. They're only at 1080p, but I only have a 1080p monitor to test on at the moment, and this isn't really a benchmarking channel. It's more just like hanging out with, having fun with PC tech. So yeah, you crucify me in the comments if you want, but I don't really care, to be honest. Let me know in the description, in the comments, all that good stuff. Let me know what you thought of this build, because I thought it was really spectacular. I thought it looked really nice. Obviously, lots of premium parts, so it is quite expensive. But you'd expect that from a 3080 build of this caliber. Anyway, give us a like, give us a subscribe. Let's get a comment down there, and hopefully I'll see you again in the next video, where I think this next video is going to be the one where we have a 6700 XT build. So we'll see you there. Bye bye.